Hello, artists. Today we are starting on our atmospheric perspective painting. Last week we sketched out a color palette and even designed what our mountains could look like going back into the distance. So you might want to refer to the paper you filled out last week. I'm going to start by drawing my layer of mountains on the page. And I would like to have 4 layers. So I'm using kind of an organic wavy line. And I've already decided that I would like to use a purplish blue color palette. And I am starting with my lightest mountain in the background. And so I am adding a lot of water to my purple. That turned out great. And I'm making a very light purple, and that's going to show that this one is the farthest away, the farthest back in the distance. This is a project that can take a little while. You do want to be patient. We're going to discuss in a moment about how we know our watercolor, if it doesn't dry, could bleed into the other layer. So I'm starting at this back layer, but I think I might jump to my foreground, the front layer next, to give time for this to dry. So I completed the back layer and I'm pretty happy with that. I am going to dry off my brush, and I'm actually going to dab out the water in my palette because now I want less water to make this my darkest layer. And I will say purple is a good color for this project because this is such a dark color. It will be harder to get the same effect if you use, say, yellow. I'm getting a little paint on the table, but no worries, I will clean that up right when I finish, which is always good to remember because we are working on our studio skills as well as how we make art. So I hope you're doing the same at home after you paint. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment to make sure that this is dry to do my next layer. So I know this layer is just going to be a little bit lighter than this, then a little bit lighter, and I'll get to my lightest layer. I may have to come back and add another layer of purple to this if it needs to go darker. I think that looks pretty good. Being very careful on this edge that it doesn't bleed into one another. And my final layer here, this might need a little more paint. Oh, that got a little dark, and if so, just add a little more water. I could even, if this is still feeling a little dark, go back in with my paper towel and blot out some of those puddles, and I think it will dry the color that I need. Okay, so I'm finishing my 4 layers, and we will complete this with a silhouette next week, but for today, this is it. So please submit a picture of your progress, but keep this artwork in a safe place because we'll use it next week. Thanks.